And we're back. Oh my God. You guys have never seen Josh wear Kansas City stuff. They win a couple Super Bowls and now all of a sudden I didn't even know he was a Kansas City fan until like 3 years ago.
I wasn't. It was like this February.
Oh.
When they were going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Never. I haven't been a Chiefs fan since. I've been a Chiefs fan for, what is it, 6 months?
Yeah, you can tell just by that hard hat how clean it is.
This is my ceiling fan changing hard hat. Because I like to change them when they're on.
Right. Yeah.
You don't see the marks up there? You can't get your arms past that shit.
Right.
I used to work with a guy who's like, I bet you can't. What? Like there was a fan with the switch on the top, like on the motor. The switch was on the motor.
Yeah, it's like up in it.
I bet you can't turn the switch
while it's moving.
Yeah.
Even on slow speed, you're like,
yeah, no, not happening.
No. I would say we're talking about ceiling fans.
Let's see. Yep.
Look at that. Good, educated guess.
So I did a bid I bid this customer, gal. They just bought a house down 3 miles from our shop. Laundry list of things, pool pump, EV charger, a lot of stuff, right? And then in the living room, there's a ceiling fan that has a remote. Mm-hmm. So there's a switch, and then there's a remote. The remote's it's an older fan, and it's not working. Like the lights come on, but it's not working.
For the fan.
For the fan.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, it must be the remote. Like initially, that's my thought. Like, well, maybe we'll open it up, check it out. So we told her we'd just replace the remote, and it's built into the fan itself. Like it's not a separate
thing
module.
that sits up in there.
It's in the fan. Like what kind of stupid? Like whose stupid idea was that?
Yeah. So now you have to replace the fan. Right? As soon as that module goes out.
And she couldn't have a separate switch for the fan and light and eliminate the remote. I fucking hate remotes.
Yeah, I hate them too.
Like, as an electrician, if I have a remote, I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the easy way.
I had remotes when I moved in my house. I put in a remote ceiling fans in my living room and in my bedroom. Fucking 3 months later, I was like, nope. No, where the fuck's this remote? I'm always, where the fuck's this remote at?
Well, I said, where's the remote? I go, people lose the remote. And the rep at Home Depot or whatever, he's like, well, it comes with this wall-mounted bracket.
Might as well just use the damn switch.
Why don't we just put a fucking switch in the wall? Like, but you like to change it from the couch. Sometimes I sit on the couch and I'm like, ooh, it's too cold.
Too cold.
Maybe I'll turn it down a notch. Oh, I got to get all the way up. And go over to the motor switch and turn it down one. Dude, my wife picked out these nice fans. Oh, they're like, they have one little housing and then these like wooden blades that look like from a fucking helicopter or a old biplane or something.
Okay.
No light kit, just smooth, sleek. They have a built-in like
remote for a remote.
Yeah, like no, it has to. You have to use a specific switch for them, and it's a fan light switch specific for that unit that takes the voltage to a different level than you can't get on a regular switch or one of those 3 position. It's a 9-position ceiling fan switch. 9.
No.
9 different speeds.
No. How many do you use?
It came with a remote. She wanted it so bad. I'm like, I'll just bypass the remote. Nope. Luckily, they sell a wall mount, but it was not a 9 position.
So it's just the remote, but it's wall mount. You can't take it off the wall.
No, it's hardwire switch, like it's a switch, but yeah, you can't take it off the wall. But 9 positions. I don't know, but 7 wasn't enough.
Oh my gosh.
7 wasn't enough, and 3 wasn't slow enough.
I couldn't see more than 3.
Yeah.
That's a standard, right? It's 3. And like,
Yeah.
oh, my house has 5, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the techs took the ceiling fan down because they're going to take the remote out, and they're like, it's built in. So, like, now the fan has to be replaced. Right? Like, because we just can't fix it. We won't. Like, we don't. I'm not getting into an old ceiling fan trying to replace some internal guts on the thing that it's going to cost $200 or less, you know? So now it's like, got to make the call to the client, say, hey, we took down your thing. There wasn't a separate remote. The motor's probably bad in this thing, or the remote. Either way, it's an internal function.
Yeah.
So we'll be back tomorrow to do the rest of the stuff. If you get a fan, we'll put it up for you.
Right, right. And if you have a fan you're having problems with, give us a call.
But we don't pick out fans.
No.
I'll point you to the right store.
Right.
How many Marcus? I want you guys to just pick out something that matches my house.
Negative. Fuck no. Nope. Nope.
Can you pick out some nice fans and fixtures that would go nice in here? No? Why not?
No.
You're not an interior
I am
decorator?
not a decorator. You can ask Yesenia. I am not the decorator one.
I mean, I have a pretty good eye for like I can kind of help, but even
It's
still,
like
even
an
even
infinite
what
amount.
My thoughts aren't what your thoughts are.
100%. Yeah. There's an infinite amount of different kinds of fans and different looks, different colors, different.
Yeah,
No,
too much.
It's not going to happen.
What are the benefits of having a ceiling fan? You get to wear a extra blanket in the wintertime?
Airflow. Wind chill, especially here in Arizona. Wind chill.
Yeah, you know how cool you feel when you're sweating and you
And
turn the
you get under a fan on setting 9.
On 9? Dude.
Jesus.
And that thing doesn't even it's so quiet.
I was about
to
say.
And it's on a like a 5-foot down rod, doesn't move one bit.
On setting 9, is that thing just moving like you're gonna chop a hand off if you put it up in there?
Yeah, you put your code book down, it's like.
I was about to say it's got it like
That's where
9 settings.
That's why I read my code book, sitting on the couch at night after work and just go through it. I got it memorized.
But in colder climates, not really here in Arizona, it can help heat. It can help heat the area a little bit, get the cold away from you. Move air, create kind of friction. Pull the air away from you.
Well, those motors can sometimes create heat in themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on how old your fans are. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. They say that, fans can definitely help you in the temperature in your house. So you can lower your thermostat, essentially, and have your fans running. Mm-hmm. So it's cheaper to have a fan running than an AC. But working in conjunction, especially in a hot climate like we are, it can be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
I'm an electrician. I don't care what my bill is.
Yeah.
Until my solar stops working, and then I'm like, "What the fuck, Marcus? Like, send the guy over there to fix my solar."
That happened.
Dude, my bill jumped to $500.
Yeah.
Like $100.
$100, $500.
I'm like, dude, you gotta get back. You gotta get a guy over here on the roof. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's the inverter. I just looked. All right, yeah. So let's talk about how the switch, right? The switch on the fan that nobody knows what it does, and they're like, oh, it just turns it in reverse.
Little black switch. Half the time people can't find it. And be like, there's a switch. There is a switch. It might be on your remote. Like it might.
That's the switch. That's the switch you're looking for when your wife goes, "It's so cold. Why is it blowing right on us?
Yeah.
Did you fix that? You're an electrician. Figure it out."
Yep.
I go, I already got it figured out, but I like it blowing on me.
So here's another blanket.
Yeah, exactly. Which direction does the switch have to be for it to spin the fan clockwise? Left or right?
Left.
I don't fucking know.
Left.
It's either one or the other.
100% left. And if I'm wrong, then it's right.
Comment below.
No, so this is Arizona.
Right?
Just all the time. Even in the winter.
Pretty much.
That's got to be somewhere else.
Well, this is good for wintertime, really. And what he's talking about is it's blowing air down, right? So when it's going counterclockwise, whichever way your blades are positioned is forcing that air straight down from the fan versus when you put it in reverse, it's forcing the air straight up, which usually hits the ceiling and then gets dispersed to the exterior parts of your room that the fan is in. So winter and summer really doesn't necessarily matter. Depends on where you want that airflow. If you have a room and your fan sits in the middle and all of your seating is on the outside and you want to feel it there, you're going to want to put it in this mode to where it hits the ceiling and cascades outwards, because otherwise it's just blowing down and blowing, around.
Well, like this, yeah.
Or if you need something more than that, we could put in 6 ceiling fans in your living room. You ever done that?
6?
Yeah. One over each
seating area.
One
yeah.
over each recliner.
No.
Can you make them to where like one blade will come this way while the other one's going like this?
4. 4. I've seen 4 in a home theater.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Is that what it was? Yeah. No light, but no light kit. Proper care.
Turn the thing off when you fucking leave the room. Like, turn the thing off when you're gone. Like,
yeah, it actually only cools if you're there.
It drives me insane.
It only makes a difference if you're there, underneath it.
You're
works just like a windshield.
Energy.
Yep.
You want to make sure you're keeping the dust off, right? So, it's funny to me how much dust can pick up on a fan that's moving.
Right?
Because I go into a house and they're like, I want to change the fan, and it's like covered. I'm like, oh man, it gets dusty in here. He's like, I've never turned it off, and it's like just
keeps grabbing it.
It's like an icicle or a snowball, right? It's just catching things in the air as it collects.
We still do fans every once in a while on certain things, right? Installing fans at these residential houses. We used to do fans a lot.
This 3-finger Johnny. You know why we call him 3-finger Johnny? Because he only has 3 fingers. Poor guy, he got his hand chopped. He got his finger chopped off doing the game for the Switch.
Yeah, on a 9-speed.
Big 3-finger John.
You remember we used to do fans all the time. We used to, because we had a contract. We were doing work for Lowe's.
Oh yeah, at one point you bought a fan from Lowe's. We would come and install it for you if you bought the installation.
Like 7 fans. We'd have jobs where it was just like 7 fans.
Yeah, and then they got to a point where they just wanted to pay $35. Mm-hmm. And we're like, I can't do that anymore. Like, there's just no point.
Yep.
Give it to somebody else. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much care. Like, you think about proper care, there's really not much care to a ceiling fan. You want to make sure that it's getting the proper voltage. You're using the right switch, the right voltage, and then cleaning it and turning it off when you're not using it.
Make sure it's weighted properly, like so it's not wobbling, because that'll make it last longer if it's weighted properly and not wobbling.
But that motor really has a runtime. I mean, there's a life expectancy to whatever motor you buy. So turn it off. Turn it off when you're not using it.
Josh, he would hate me. I don't turn the fans off. They just stay on.
Who's it blowing on right now? Your dogs?
Yep.
You're just like pre-cooling your house. You're just trying to keep it cool.
That doesn't work that way either. It just fucking. You literally have to be in the room for it to do anything for you.
An HVAC guy said that he's like, you gotta keep your bill down. You gotta like blast your air conditioner like 60 during off-peak times, and then turn it down to 85, and then that'll last all day. Like, no, it doesn't.
No.
Not even close.
No.
Maybe a couple hours.
No.
Maybe.
Not here in Arizona.
Installation and repair. Who's that guy? Coochie coochie coo.
Jesus.
It looks like horizontal man.
It's like 12 years ago. It's a long time ago.
That's Babyface Johnson. We got three-finger Johnny and Babyface Johnson. What he's doing here is he's like changing some light bulbs out in an existing fan.
Yep.
Did you clean those blades?
Yep.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. That's my old house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We get calls all the time in Arizona. Hey, I need a ceiling fan in this room. I need a ceiling fan in this room. And we'll come into a room, and sometimes there'll be a box there, and sometimes there won't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they'll want to convert an old fixture into a ceiling fan. So you can't just put a ceiling fan on any kind of box, right? We have to make sure that we have a rated box that's rated for the weight of a ceiling fan. Typically, I like to use a 50-pound rated box.
Yeah.
Just because you never know what kind of fan the customer's going to get you. And sometimes it's an easy one like this where, where you get the blades that just kind of lock in. Those are my favorites. Like, you can be done in 20 minutes.
Yep.
And sometimes it's the fucking fixture from hell.
Yep.
And
got like 8 screws on every single blade. You got to fucking try to finagle in the holes and like.
And you put it up and you go, oh, wait a second, I didn't read the instructions. I'm supposed to put this up first and then this and then this. And then you get like.
Oh, yeah.
It's the nightmare.
I've definitely put some fans together before just to find out that I missed this ring, right? Or something like, fuck. Take that all apart again.
We get in a hurry.
Yep.
And that's when we get humbled, right?
Yep.
Like, we get in a
100%.
hurry and then there's like, God just like, nope, you're going to do it twice.
Do it over.
You're going to do it twice today.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That is tough. So in the instance of if there's a fixture box, a light fixture box could be just a nail-on box.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is. It could be just a small fixture, one of them blue plastics. Mm-hmm. Those aren't rated for a ceiling fan.
No, they got vibration too. A fan's it's got a motor up there, right?
Yeah.
So it's got a vibration to it as well.
So we'll take those out and put in an adjustable fan box. Or when we're cutting in something new, we'll use an adjustable fan box and it'll span stud to stud. What they do is you cut a hole in the ceiling where the fan's going, and you put all that shit together up like this and lay it up there, and then you're working that.
Yeah, you got to spin it.
You
got to make sure that it's sitting right, like level up and then you start spinning it.
And then it starts to expand, and once it hits those joists, you spin it and you make sure it gets tight in there, so that it can sustain the weight of a ceiling fan.
Yep.
You should have had a ladder on this one, unless you're just changing light bulbs.
I was on a 4-footer. I don't remember.
Maybe. I mean, it was tall ceiling. No, it's an 8-foot ceiling.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Installation and repair. To be honest, the installation gets pretty cut and dry. I like to tell the customer, I prefer 2 switches, one for the fan and one for the light.
I agree.
Otherwise, you'll always be on, either you'll have a remote or you'll always be at the chain.
Chains.
And I don't like pulling the chain. As an electrician, I'm like, let's just do it. Let's just do it right.
Yeah.
A lot of times you go into a bedroom here and there'll be a switch on the wall, but it'll be for an outlet.
Yep.
And so we'll come from either the switch or the outlet and take it up and make it like the light or the fan.
Yeah. Because you have your switch leg at either spot. You can grab it at either spot.
It's only if they don't want to add another switch, because then I'm like, let's just add it. Let's add them both, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the times now, we're not even putting light kits on. We're putting cans in.
Can lights, yeah.
So we'll do a fan in the middle of the room, and then we'll score some cans around it, and throw those on a dimmer, and now you've got all the functionality you need. But I don't do hardly any repair.
And then when you're doing those installs, got to be careful. Make sure your can lights aren't too close to your fan, or you'll get that strobing.
Oh yeah, you definitely can't.
Oh my God, I've seen some bad jobs with strobing.
Yeah. You want to make sure it's far. When I say square it around, I mean like square it around the fan, not necessarily squared to the room.
Right.
Because you don't want to be too close to that fan. It will definitely cause issues. As far as repair, I mean, you can repair like this glass that he's got in his hand. You can take that down, put it in new glass. They sell a lot of that stuff at Home Depot and Lowe's. Once a blade is done, like that's the end of the fan. Like you can't. Very rarely can you find a blade that'll match and that'll stay keep it centered and level or balanced.
Yeah. You can fix the chains.
You can change the light kit.
You can change the light kit. You can change the bulbs into something different. Realistically, that's about it.
Like once it stops working, it's done. Like
yeah.
And the cost to have a technician go through and try to find parts and stuff, sometimes to outweigh, like, it's not feasible. Especially now, like, some of these fans, like that fan right now, probably goes for $69.
I was about to say about $70, $80.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, let's, like, just move on.
You might as well just have that when we show up.
Yeah, because we're not picking it out for you. So pick out your own fan and be ready. And don't give me one that looks like a wagon wheel that's got bars that have to go through each blade. You know, like, geez, that one's the pain in the ass.
Right. Make sure there's fans come with 2 colors usually on each side of those blades. Make sure you know what color you want as well, because
Don't let us choose that either.
no.
Yeah,
I
we
know.
won't. There it is. See you next week.
Later.